Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you my conversation with Beth English. We're going to talk about, 4 reasons why you may not be achieving your goals. This is 2020. We're already December. It's really the perfect time to start planning for the new year. So if there's something that, you are at right now where you see like, okay, I think I need to start thinking about 2021. What do I want to achieve? This episode is for you. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be great. And also I want to invite you as you listen to this episode to consider joining us for a free, totally free, very cool goal setting bootcamp for artists. That's going to happen from December 14 all the way to the 17th. 4 days, totally free inside of our Facebook group. We're going to be working with goal setting for 2021, helping you navigate your ideas to really have a plan of action as you start the year 2021. As the world has changed, how this pandemic has totally, come to change our lives, we also have to adapt and think about new ways, new ideas. So we're going to be doing that on December 14 to the 17th, totally free. It's called the Goal Setting Artist Bootcamp. And you can sign up for free at www.theartistnextlevel.com/goals. Again, www.theartistnextlevel.com/goals. I hope to see you there, my friend. And now I hope you enjoy my conversation with my good friend, artist and entrepreneur, Beth English.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
We're going to talk about 4 reasons why you may not be achieving your goals in your art career. So, hi, Beth, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing good. How do you like this topic? I know last couple of weeks ago, we talked about goal setting a little bit. And today I want to kind of piggyback on that and also look at what is some of the reasons sometimes we don't achieve our goals and what to do about it, more than anything.
I think that's a really great topic, mainly because sometimes when we don't reach our goals, we're so hard on ourselves, like we failed or something, but that's not really the case. We just kind of have to look at it a little more deeply and not take it so personally. And that way we can take the next best step and the next best step. And so I'm excited to hear what you have to say for sure.
Excellent. And of course, having a pandemic in the middle of your year is not one of them. Because that didn't happen to everybody, right? You cannot plan for those things. But so I scrapped that one out of the list. Otherwise, it will be 5, 5 reasons why you may not be achieving your goals. We hope we don't get another pandemic in 2021. But let's start with the first one. And I think one of the main reasons why you may not be achieving your artistic goals is because you just don't make goals, right? You just go through life as, let's see what happens, whatever. And I know a lot of people that kind of have that mentality. It's just whatever, let's see what happens, And so if there are no goals, or sometimes, just resolutions at the beginning of the year that by March you already forgot what they were. So if you don't take the time to really look at kind of what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, taking the time to look back and really figure out, what those goals may be, you're not going to get them. You're not going to achieve them because you don't have them lined out. You don't have them visually where you can see them. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one thing to say, oh, I really would like to do this. And then it's another thing to say, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And here are the steps I'm going to take in the time period I'm going to take them so that I hit this goal by a certain date. Those are 2 very different ways of looking at a goal, so to speak. And so unless you do the steps to get there, you're probably not going to get there.
It's going to happen, yeah. I read somewhere, I can't even remember where or what. I wish I knew this statistic, but I read somewhere that, a big majority of people, if you ask them, they want to write a book because they have a great story or something that happened to them and they want to write a book. But the reality is that only this amount of people will actually sit down to write that book, right? And go through all the hard work of doing so. And those are the authors that we all know and we buy books from. But that's exactly what you just said. So true. So that's the first one, right? If you don't make goals, obviously you're not going to get them. You're not going to achieve them. Second one is sometimes we just have way too many goals. It becomes like wishful thinking, right? Like a list of I wish I could sell more art. I wish I could exhibit more. I wish. So there are too many and they're vague. They're very general. They're not specific, right? I want to sell, $20,000 more of art, for example, versus you want to sell more art. Or, I want to have 3 exhibitions versus I just want to have more exhibitions. So it's too many and too vague. So, it's like a needle that doesn't stop, pointing in one direction.
Yeah, I love that. And a lot of times when I work with my clients, I use a bow and arrow as a metaphor and a target.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, unless you have that narrow focus, you're not going to hit the bullseye. You may hit the target, you may miss the target altogether, but
right.
It's so important to get extremely focused to the point where every time you launch your arrow, you're hitting that bullseye every time. And it's not going to happen unless you're laser focused.
Right. And I think specifically more now because of all we have experienced this year, and everybody kind of is just like floating in limbo, trying to figure out what's the next step, what's going to happen. But once things start to settle down, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for all of us to sit down and say, okay, maybe 2020 wasn't our best year. Maybe our goals totally got deflated and distracted. And that's okay, because that happened to everybody, right? But maybe it's a great time to say, okay, now let's refocus. Let's rethink of it. Let's, as you said, line up. Let's put our arrow in one direction and let's go chase it. Let's go for that. Because, this year for me was kind of crazy. And I know for you too, right? But last time, actually, when we started this show, you were in a completely different state, in a different city. Sure. and I wasn't doing this thing here, also having this setup. So the whole thing changed. So now that we know these things, how can we adapt? How can we make it better and align it in the right direction? So that's number 2. Sometimes if you have too many goals, if you have no strategy, then you're not going to achieve them. So third reason why you may not be achieving your goals in your career is because you're just not too excited about it, right? The reality is that, if your goals are not waking you up at night or not making you excited when you wake up in the morning, it's not an exciting goal, right? It's just something that, oh, okay, I saw Sergio, he said he wants to do more of this, then I'll do it too. Or I saw Beth, she wants to do it. So, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to put that in there. But it's not really something that's personal to you, that's exciting to you, that, makes you excited. And it's like when we do goal setting with our, with the artists that we coach, we always have, whatever goal it is, we have a huge section for what's the big why, right? What's the why? Because you don't have a big, huge why that makes you super excited. That goal is just going to lay low throughout the year. And, if it happens, it happens. And I think that's kind of what distinguishes also, when you look at people at sports. I love to follow racing and other sports. And, those who win are always like, they're going for it. They dream at night exactly where they want to be. They dream exactly how the end's going to go, right? And it makes them excited. You can tell when they go in the interviews, they're like, and I think as artists, we can do that too, make some goals that makes you really, really excited.
I couldn't agree more. I'm all about making everything fun and exciting and great, because otherwise I'm not going to do it. And that whole, like, if it doesn't wake you up at night, I feel that, because I'm getting up at night and I'm thinking about everything that I want to do, everything that I want to accomplish. I'm writing it down, I'm putting it out in front of me. And that's why I love working with mentors or coaches, because they show you the level of enthusiasm and focus that you need to be able to achieve your goals. And it's so nice to have someone to be that for you, because sometimes it's hard to self-motivate or even know exactly what to do. You're like, I'm doing all the things I think I'm supposed to. And it's like, oh no, I really need to up my game and level up. And that's when it's going to start happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And I can also actually love what you said, because that kind of brings me to my fourth point, which is you don't have a system, right? When you talk about coaching, that's somebody who helps you create a system to achieve to that goal, to go from point A to point B. Is that trajectory in between both, that's the system, right? How you're going to do it. And a lot of times you may have, great goals. You may have sit down at the beginning of the year or end of the year and say, okay, I'm going to, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to achieve. I got line it up. But now the how to, that's where a lot of people get lost throughout the year, right? The goal is great. It makes me excited at night. But, when I look around, it's like I've been just turning circles day and night because I feel really busy, but I'm not moving forward. And that's, a lack of system, a lack of a strategy that can actually get to point A to point B, as fast as you possibly can. And so that's one of the ones that I think is very, very common today.
I'm over here smiling inside because my systems have systems and they have systems. Yeah. So it's like layers and layers of systems. Because I'm a pattern thinker. And so I'm always thinking about how things are connecting and layering and crossing over and how they all relate to one another. And I'm just like,
it's like your art in the background.
Well, that's a lot of why I make the type of art that I make. You use a lot of lines and colors to tell stories of how we move through space and time, and how, like, especially when I'm using the line, just to illustrate exactly how we move through our thoughts and our words. Everything about life isn't so straight, right? And so I love to be able to tell that story of how we move and navigate through change, especially with, art making. And so, but I also do that in my business and even in my writing. I can tell, like, when I am following a system. I love to have these anchor points that keep bringing me closer and closer to my goals. And so it just helps ground me in all the actions that I'm doing, is to have a system to do that. Yeah.
Super cool. And my friends, just, as we talk about systems, one of the things that I have developed with my wife, Dr. Elena Gomez, we did this about 3 years ago. We created a goal setting system for artists, which always we give out free at the beginning of the year, totally free. And just so I want to invite everyone, because we're going to be running a goal setting bootcamp next week, which will be from December 14th and then 4 continuous days inside of a Facebook group that we're just going to create for the bootcamp. Everybody can join. You can bring your friends. We're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about systems. We're going to share our systems. It's totally free. You can use. We have, tons of artists use it year round. I'm going to interview some artists who use it very successfully, throughout the year to also achieve their goals. And that will help us, help everyone to kind of line, as we talk about today, line things up, figure out what's going to make you excited for the next year, and then go for it. So at the end of the goal setting bootcamp, you will have, some ideas of what you want to achieve in 2021, and you're going to be very excited about it. And more than, what's cool is that you can do it along with hundreds of other artists from around the world, which we will all be doing the same, including myself. I will be doing that as well. So if you want to join for that, all you have to do is just go to www.theartistnextlevel.com/goals. Again, www.theartistnextlevel.com/goals. And you can sign up. It's just an email. So from that email, then I'll send you to the Facebook group where you can join already and get ready, start meeting people, so we can, all have a great time next week.
That sounds like so much fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Get your markers out and get your poster board and your Post-it notes and your pens and everything. And visualize. That's what we're all about, is visualizing. And I love to visualize our goals, because that's how we can do more of what we love, is when we can reach our goals, make the money that we need to make, so that we can continue doing the things that we love. Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, my friends, we have come to the end of another Wednesday episode with Beth and I. So Beth, where can our friends find you, and how can they reach out to you in social media?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English. You can visit my website at bethenglish.com. I've got a great giveaway on the page if you would like to learn how to get rid of those limiting beliefs, which I'm all about coaching on. And next week's video is going to be all about that as well.
Awesome. So don't miss it. It's going to be super cool. We both of us will be here once again. And you can find me at Sergio Gomez Art on social media and SergioGomezOnline.com. So have a great rest of your week, my friends. We would love to hear from you. Send your comments. Reach out to us directly to our social media as well. We would love to connect with you one more time. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.